So after seeing all of the things that Treyarch have done for Call of Duty over the past few years or so, working on games that aren't their own, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, you can't even say Cold War originally wasn't Treyarch's game. They had to come in about a year and a half into development, I think it was, and turn that project around and make it theirs. But with Vanguard, they did the Zombies mode, and now with Modern Warfare 2, they've actually done quite a bit in this game as well, which you might not be too familiar with because they actually, as far as I'm aware anyway, I don't have the physical version of this game, only digital, but from what I've been told, Treyarch aren't credited on the box. They are if you complete the game. You'll see them in the credits, you'll also see them when you load up the game. The Treyarch logo is there, so there is something there at least that tells you they've worked on this. But that could go amiss, and you might think Treyarch have had nothing to do with Modern Warfare 2, and currently everyone there is working on their next project, their next game, which is due to come out in 2024. But that's, well, it's not 100% correct. Treyarch have worked on quite a few things for Modern Warfare 2, which to me, when I think about it, is kind of crazy considering everything that they've done over the past couple of years. Helping Sledgehammer drastically with Vanguard, helping Infinity Ward with Modern Warfare 2, all at the same time that they're working on their next game. I think we all kind of want them just to focus on COD 2024 now, because the last time they actually had their own full game where they had the full 3-year development time was really Black Ops 4. That came out a long time ago now, and we've seen with their games that we've had since then, there was a lot of controversy surrounding Cold War. Was it a good game? Wasn't it? I think the good definitely outweighed the bad, taking things into consideration, but there's no arguing that it could have been better in terms of having, say, more content if they were given the proper amount of time. Just looking at Zombies, for example, how much content Black Ops 4 Zombies got compared to Cold War, a lot of that was down to time. With Vanguard, Treyarch only had, I think it was 6 months to work on that mode, and that was very obvious because it was probably, in fact, no, it was the worst Zombies iteration we've had to date. But again, for me, that's not really Treyarch's fault. When you're given a short amount of time to develop something, you can't expect the amazing products that we've had from them in the past. So when I first heard that Treyarch's game was getting delayed from 2023 to 2024, I was quite excited because I was like, well, this is really the first time since Black Ops 4 Treyarch would have had a good amount of time to develop a game. If their last full one came out in 2020 and the next one isn't coming out until 2024, that's 4 years or 3 years if we go from the end of that game, because they do carry on making stuff because of DLC. So 3 to 4 years to create a Call of Duty game is normally a good amount of time. It doesn't always mean when it gets released it's fully finished. I mean, a lot of people are complaining that Modern Warfare 2 doesn't have a lot of content, and this game has had 3 years. But generally, to create an FPS game or Call of Duty game, I think 3 years pushing 4 is a good amount of time. Remember that Call of Duty isn't the most detailed or biggest game. It's not open world like Grand Theft Auto. We've just seen with the new God of War. The last one came out in 2018. The new one is due to come out this year, so there's been a 4-year gap between this and that one, and that, in my opinion, is a much bigger experience than what Call of Duty is. If a game like that's taken 4 years, then I think 3 to 4 years is a good amount of time for COD. So basing it off all of that, I was quite excited for what we were going to be getting from Treyarch in 2024, but knowing that they've had to take quite a few of their developers away to work on other studios' games, quite a few developers of Vanguard Zombies, and now some of the developers working on Modern Warfare 2. Is that something to worry about? Could that cause problems with their next game if some of Treyarch's developers are having to work on other games that aren't theirs? It isn't a lot of people. I'm not too sure how many devs worked on Vanguard Zombies. I could be wrong in saying this, but I think it was just a small portion of the multiplayer team. I know the director of Treyarch Zombies, Kevin Drew, didn't work on Vanguard Zombies at all. When that was going on, he was working on COD 2024 and DLC for Cold War. So I think it might have just been a small portion of the multiplayer devs that worked on Vanguard Zombies. And as for Modern Warfare 2, well, we know Treyarch have worked on a couple of things, because just the other day, Infinity Ward tweeted, "We are thrilled to bring back ranked play to Modern Warfare 2. It is coming in 2023 with our partners at Treyarch." And Treyarch basically confirmed this. They said that competitive modes are coming to Modern Warfare 2, along with ranked skill divisions, visible skill ratings, a top 250 leaderboard, and competitive rewards. So it is Treyarch who have built up and worked on bringing ranked play to Modern Warfare 2, which is quite a big thing in itself. Without knowing anything about game development, I think that's a pretty big feat in itself. It would have taken more than 1 or 2 developers from Treyarch to actually make something like this. And that isn't the only thing they've worked on in this game. They also did the camo system for MW2. One of the developers at Treyarch tweeted, "We took a big swing at streamlining camos this year." Treyarch made over 180 camos for Modern Warfare 2, which, having gone through them all, is pretty crazy. There's quite a few good ones here. It might be, just to me, one of the best camo systems in Call of Duty ever, although most of that is just because of how many there are in the game. There's some really nice ones as well. I think they also worked on the challenges as well, as far as I'm aware. Somebody asked him, wait, so Treyarch did the camos this year? And he said the camos were done by Treyarch / Infinity Ward and Activision. It was a collaboration, but Treyarch had a massive part to play. I also saw a tweet somewhere saying that Treyarch worked on the swimming in Modern Warfare 2. They made that system since it's been a big part of their games for quite a while now. Black Ops Cold War, it was a big feature. It was in BO4 as well, so Treyarch did that in this game, and they've probably done a few other things, so you can see Treyarch have done quite a lot for Modern Warfare 2, and without knowing the numbers, it must have taken more than just a couple of developers to build stuff for this game. I know there are hundreds of people that work at Treyarch, but it does kind of make me wonder if this will affect their game that is due to come out in 2024. Surely the more developers they have working on their own game, the better. But over the past few years, Vanguard, Cold War, this one, have had their developers taken to work on other games. I will say though, I am still very, very hopeful. This doesn't really take anything away. Treyarch literally just said that they're hiring new people for new positions. They're looking for positions in engineering, art, animation. If you actually look at the specifics, they're looking for a zombies gameplay engineer, a animation engineer, tools engineer, audio engineer. They're doing internships in game design and level design. For the people back when Vanguard ended that were saying, well, maybe this is the end for zombies and we're never going to see it again, there is a possibility that we won't see zombies in COD 2024. This pretty much confirms that that is not the case. Zombies will be returning if Treyarch are hiring new positions for zombies gameplay, so that's definitely coming back. And Kevin Drew, who, like I said, is the director of zombies now, he said back in June, "We have big plans for zombies and want to grow the team to realise them. There are several design positions open and a range of experience levels, so it's a great time to apply if you're interested." This was all the way back in June, and even then they said that they had an open position for a zombies gameplay engineer, so if they're still advertising for that, does that mean that they haven't taken on someone since then, since June? Or maybe there is more than one position for that. But Treyarch are taking on new developers. Their game is still a long way to go yet, and it is still, when you think about it, only a small portion of their devs being taken to work on other products. But I guess I really just wanted to say, isn't it time that the studio deserves a break? Surely out of anyone, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, Raven, Treyarch have done the most. They've worked the hardest, they've been put under the most pressure. That's the impression that I've gotten anyway over the past few years. Surely out of anyone, they deserve a break and time to actually develop their own game like other studios have had. I can kind of get why a lot of their developers get taken, because just in my eyes, they are the best. They do release the most consistent games when they are given the time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what we get from them. Could things change with the Microsoft acquisition? That, I think, will play a big part. It's due to go through in 2023, so perhaps we could see some changes. Could Microsoft decide to push Treyarch's game back even further or forward? I do think with that, if by the time 2024 does come around and Treyarch still haven't fully finished their game, Microsoft would delay it, whereas Activision wouldn't. But yeah, I suppose there's still a long way to go. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed the video today. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.